What's up? It's your boy Carcino here, and let's get into it here at Screen Fiend. That's right, you're looking at your boy Carcino there with the dark side. As you see Anakin Skywalker and the Emperor. Do it. Do it. Now, as we inch closer and closer to Star Wars, let's go ahead and get some things addressed so that the whole world can see. Right? Sorry about that. Somebody was trying to text me. But let's go into the gist of while we're here. The Rise of Skywalker. There's so much in between and there's so many moving parts that I think what hurt this story is, or what's hurting it, is all the directions, all the anticipations of what people have in their mind of what this movie should be. That's what hurt The Last Jedi. Everyone had in their minds where they thought the movie was headed, and the movie didn't go in that direction. And it turned everything upside down as far as for the fans. Um, Social media just had fun with it, and they're always, no matter how the movie is, people are already set up to bash The Last Jedi. They were already set up to bash it when it came out because it didn't do what they thought was going to be there and run some misdirection. Then everyone's creating these fake concepts, to get clicks and hits and views. All of these leaks and all of these plugs, and Star Wars used to be the most tight knit. You couldn't get a drop of any news out of Star Wars. Loose lips sinks battleships was the key there. Now we've had leaked footage, leaked artwork, leaked everything for this film. It's been so many leaks for the Rise of Skywalker that it was almost embarrassing for a Star Wars film to have this many leaks. This would have never went down under a Lucas watch. But that's not even here nor said. What you're doing is you're following the history of a script that has been going through moderate changes, moderate reintroductions, and these scripts were approved. All three scripts were approved early on when they first did the stories. This is where they were going to end up. This is where they were going. So since 2013, these scripts were being reworked and approved. So the story outset and where they were going to go with the three movies were in place. They were still trying to hire directors in the direction of where they were going with the characters. Now there was some direction as far as what they were going to do with Luke. Was he going to be alive all the way to the third film? And then in the third film, but it was always meant for Luke to pass on everything to Rey. And they were going to go with Rey. And if they want to start a Star Wars saga down the road, they could do it with Rey. Now, she said she's, after this, there's no more Star Wars for her. Like, she's done. So, not like she's not coming back, meaning that she has nothing contractually with Star Wars. Now, when you're filming something like Star Wars, that's like a 2 year out of your life, where you're locked in to what you're doing for 2 years. Then you're caught into a whole mist of different things when it comes to Star Wars: reality and perception, the Darth Vader narrative, the Emperor narrative, making sure everything connects to what the other director had taken the characters. Now, the characters were always supposed to go in this direction, but how you want a role to be portrayed, that's a difference that has to be approved by LucasArts and Disney. Now, Disney wanted some characters added, more fluffier characters like some Ewoks, something that would, warm the hearts of the kids that they could connect to. And they did that in the second film. They got in the little fuzzy things that was on the island with Luke, that they were able to market those little things and sell them. They made a lot of money off of it. Now, despite people claiming they hate The Last Jedi, The Last Jedi grossed $1 billion. Did $1 billion. It's $1 billion movie. It's serious. So now you got to look at the new narrative. This is the final. This is it. This is the rise of Skywalker and what's going to happen. So you're looking at a narrative of what people have told you and what to expect. Being in the presence of the characters of Kristen Haydenson and the Emperor, I think there might be a nod that both might appear in the film. But I knew the Emperor was going to be in the film, even though he was telling everyone he's not 100% sure that he's going to be in the film. There's no guarantee he's in the movie yet, just because you hear his crackle. So that was just to throw us all off the case and off the chase. But the reality of the situation is very clear. This is Star Wars. This is what it does. And for those of you who made it this far in the video, here on Screen Fiend, we're going to do this for you. You are going to get, for the very first time, my take on how I think this movie should go if I was directing the Rise of Skywalker. Are y'all ready? I know it ain't many of you here, but are you all ready? Here is how I would start and what direction I would go in for the Rise of Skywalker. The movie would start 4 years later. And when you see the crawl coming up, it would say, darkness has once again ruled the galaxy. As rebellions are starting to form, as the story passes through the galaxy of the few who took down Snoke and the Jedi that slayed Snoke. The hunt is on for Rey, as more of the separatists and more of the people are starting to rebel against the First Order. Kylo Ren and his Knights of Ren are scourging through the galaxy looking for Force-given soldiers or children that they can mold into soldiers. And this is where our saga begins. So it starts there. Kylo Ren has his Knights of Ren going throughout the galaxy looking for all these kids or youth who have Force abilities. Force-born abilities, and they're collecting them. And he wants a whole Force-driven army that he's going to call the Knights of Ren. But Kylo is also in search for Rey. Rey is the key for him. He has a thing for Rey. He wants Rey. Rey in the rebellion has been living in like sewage places, someone where she's used to living because she's a scavenger. So she knew how to survive. So they have basically been colonizing in a forest like area that has a submarine area where it's very few life forms on the planet that would even people would even come to this side of the galaxy for anything else. She's worked on her force abilities in this force. She's learned how to speak and communicate with Luke, who has been training her. Rey has a child with Poe Dameron. And Rey has been finding force given of people with abilities also, who's heard of her legend. And they all think they know Rey. She's one of them. But she's still very confused as she still doesn't know her true identity. Rey is looked at to be the leader now, and she doesn't want that responsibility. Poe Dameron has been out doing missions and taking control as Leia's health worsens as she's never really fully recovered from her incident out in space. It has weakened her and she's dying because of it. She feels herself fading away as she calls for Poe and Rey and to meet her one last time as she's with her few trustworthy people that she knew, Lando Calrissian, and they all sit there and go over plans and things that they were talking about early on in life. And as she gets ready to pass on and go to be with Han, she gives a blessing to Rey. This is how the story would go. It wouldn't actually have to be on the screen, but Poe is going to be the one that's in charge. So Poe Dameron's going to be the leader, and she's going to put all the responsibility into Poe. And Rey is not ready for the responsibility of being a leader. She just wants to do her role, and she's just on her mission to just find out who she is. And that's really all she wanted to be. She never set out to be a Jedi. This is not something she wanted to do. So conflicted, but still has some sort of connection to Kylo Ren, where Kylo is after her because he wants her to join him. But he also knows that as long as she's out there, she's a threat and it's giving people hope that they could fight the First Order. Meanwhile, they're also building a fleet as they go to get more supplies from Snoke, who they really know nothing about. So the Knights of Ren eventually find out more about Snoke and find out about the Knights of Ren. That Ren was actually a Sith Lord, a ruler, and all his Knights of Ren was all under him, and he was a powerful leader, and he was the general, and all the soldiers were named after him, this Sith Lord, who was very powerful with the Force. And Snoke knew him and was trained and came up under him as he was a member, connected with this Ren. So once he finds out, that's where Kylo gets his name from, Kylo Ren. he finds out that this is my history, this is who I am, this is what I've become, and now I have some background information on it. And as he learns more about Snoke's identity, he starts to also learn why he must destroy Rey. And it's not going to work if she does not conform and come over completely to the dark side. Now, Rey is becoming stronger, more powerful, and she's on a search to find out who her true identity is and where she came from and how she was to be. Kylo knows that if he finds out what she's looking for, he can find her because she's going to come looking for him. So, one of the spies for the First Order is leaking information to the rebellion, and the information has been golden. It's General Hux. General Hux is actually a double agent. He wants Ren to fall, but he knows he can't fight Kylo Ren because Kylo Ren's too powerful with the Force. But he knows Kylo should not be in charge. And he still doesn't believe the story that Ren would just kill Snoke. He just doesn't believe that that could just happen like that, or she would just do that. And to be that powerful to kill Snoke, she must be more powerful than Kylo Ren. So he wants to align with someone who could protect him. And he wants to see Ren slain so that way he can weasel his way back into command. So he's leaking information so that the rebels will be able to stop Kylo Ren's plan of trying to make an army of Force given children. Because he knows all of these people with the Force, they're not going to listen to him. He's not going to be the one calling shots. Kylo Ren would. And they all have Force given abilities, so they don't have to listen to him. He has no Force given abilities in his body. So this is not going to fare well for him. So this plan to have this army replace the army that they have now and the system they have, he's kind of against it. It breaks command and thinks it will make more dangerous. They make these guys more dangerous to collect these guys and have them out as soldiers. And like he tries to explain this to Kylo Ren, the dangers of it, because all of them would seek more power, and they would drive them into madness. And soldier would try to kill other soldier, but Kylo Ren silences him and says, "No, they will all worship me, like the Knights of Ren." So, with that being the case, he was the one leaking the information to the rebels. They do some more missions where they ended up colliding and be facing one another, where Rey faces off with Kylo Ren. He sees her with Poe Dameron. He uses the Force. He's able to see that she has a child with Poe Dameron. So Kylo Ren wants to kill Poe Dameron and told Rey if she does not join him by his side, he would kill Poe as he's force choking Poe Dameron if she did not join him. So naturally, she agrees to go with Kylo Ren. And he wants to know, is the child his? Or is it Poe Dameron's? And the whole world is shocked. There's no one expected to hear anything of that sort. Is the child Kylo Ren's? And she says, yes. You are the father. Kylo Ren is the father of the child. And he wants to see the child. But she said, you have to let Poe Dameron live. So Poe was like, that's not true. So it was like, she's mine. Which angers Kylo Ren, but they leave to go see the child. They leave Poe Dameron and everyone alone. Kylo leaves them. They go all the way back. They find the child. Kylo sees the child. And he looks in the child's eyes. And the child at 3 looks at Kylo. And he says, do you see it now? She's yours. And he was, I didn't know that this could happen. The Force is very powerful and strong with this. That we created a bond forever that created the Force, and our Force fields end up creating a child without without them even being together. They created a kid. Kylo believes this. So she said, but you're the dark side, so we're a liability to you. So you must slay her and me. Are you prepared to do that? And he's, no, you are my family. Forget all the Sith stuff, and then we're all a family together. And we're going to be together, and we're going to rule the galaxy. I'm going to show you my plans. So he takes them all together on the ship. The girl is very reluctant, doesn't really trust Kylo Ren. And he wants to teach her and train her on the side, on the Force, on the dark side, and teach her things. So as they're there, and Rey is like, she knows what she needs to know. And so she's 3, she's a child. And as they're going through this whole ordeal, and she's he went and showed her the fields of the Force generated soldiers. Rey is like beside herself as the rumors were true. Kylo did have these soldiers, these kids as prisoners, and she's pleading like, they're prisoners. How could this be okay with you? This is slavery, and this is that, and people in free will. So Kylo's explaining herself. She's upset. Then the kid is using her mind to talk to her mom, and Kylo can hear it as well. But she intercepts it, and she's like, "Mom, where's Daddy?" She's like, "Oh, Daddy's on back in the other planet. We'll see him later." But they're talking in their mind. Kylo reads, and he's reading it, and he's like, "I'm her father. Stop lying to her. I'm her father." And she's like, don't change the subject. This is about these prisoners. And then they go into a big spat. Rey uses the Force, woof, throws Kylo Ren back with the Force and knocks him out. She uses her other hand and frees all the prisoners so they can run away. The Force soldier, she takes her child. She's moving. Kylo Ren gets up, grabs his lightsaber as he tries to go after. And I made this longer than I should have. But anyway, Rey's going with the kid. They running. She got the lightsaber. She's running, trying to get there. Kylo Ren goes. Meanwhile, Finn at this time, he's back. You know, he's with his girl now. He's got his chick. He's good. And they doing some little side mission. Really insignificant as to what the bigger picture is here. Comes to find out, Finn was like one of his father was somebody, and he actually had some force abilities. His father was somebody with force abilities and was a leader of their village. So Jan and come back, they end up being brother and sister. They know because they actually have a certain birthmark on them that they got from birth, which is a royal certificate. Now, besides that, everything else in Star Wars is played out to a final scene in which they discover the truth about Snoke and the deception of Snoke after a showdown with Rey, with the baby in the middle. As the baby standing behind Rey, Kylo Ren comes in with his lightsaber and they get into a battle. And the little girl's behind him, and they end up finding out the truth about Snoke and his plans as they have a fight in this throne room. And once they find out a truth that Snoke is actually a being from another part of the universe, from he predates years and years of battle, and he was actually trained after the death of Darth Vader. He was actually trained by the Emperor and learned some secrets from the Force from the Emperor. But he's been for years a Force user, but not as powerful, and learned other secrets of how to shift and morph people's minds together and bridge people's minds together with the Force, and use other things from the Force that many people didn't know how to use to control and manipulate minds from long distances across the galaxy. As we saw, Luke lost his life using that same ability to project himself all the way across the galaxy. Now, with that being done, the Millennium Falcon chase and all that stuff is in the movie too. But I just wanted to get you the meat and potatoes of what was going on. They find out the truth about Snoke. He's not going to care. Poe Dameron finds them, comes in there again in the throne room. Kylo lifts him up, throws him into a rock. It sets Rey off, and she goes off on Kylo Ren. And then they're fighting, and he's telling her, "Come to me, come to Daddy," and she won't listen to 3-year-old. And Rey goes off, basically just storms off on, goes off on Kylo Ren again, and she breaks his lightsaber. His lightsaber is destroyed into pieces. He's basically defeating again, and she's just hawking with aggression. She has the lightsaber to his neck, and he's saying, "You would kill me in front of my daughter." And she says, "You are not the father. You were never the father. Her father is Poe Dameron." and cuts off the head of Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren falls down. He's gone. And then the mission continues with Rey. And she still doesn't know who who she is. But through this throne room, she finds an artifact that connects to a place where, of course, the Emperor is there. So she arrives there with this artifact that leads her to this temple to where the Emperor is, and he's like, I've set this information and all of this for you so you can come before me, so you can wipe out the weakness of the Skywalkers. And it was like, that was a failed carbon copy of myself. You are my bloodline. You are my granddaughter. I created you through the Force. You are the one. So basically, telling her, you're the one. I've created you through the Force. Now you're going to rule the galaxy. And I'm going to teach you all you need to know to rule the galaxy. All of this is yours. And before she moves forward with anything, she looks at her daughter and she says, we don't know you. And I choose her. And I choose Poe. And I choose life. And I choose to love. I choose not to live under the... And while she says that, the Emperor shoots her right in the face with a doggone electric blow. That boat sends her across the thing. And he tells her how stupid she's being for not joining the dark side. And she will learn to appreciate the gifts he's given her. Then he brings her up with the Force and says, you're too weak. You think you know everything about the Force, and you know nothing about it. But you will in time. You, as your daughter, are both mine. So, after this, she tries to resist and fight, breaks loose. No! So he starts frying her. Bzzz. It's your choice. Do you want to live or die? And then I'll raise your daughter to be by my side and join the dark side. Then Finn comes in. Not if I can help it. He comes in and picks up Rey's fallen lightsaber and rushes the Emperor. And the Emperor hits him with 50,000 bolts and knocks him out. And he rolls on the floor. And as he's fried and laying on the floor, Jana walks in right after him, sees her brother fried up on the floor, just knocked out, and the Emperor's laughing. Another scavenger. She comes in and she pulls out that purple lightsaber and lights it up. Da, 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 da. So the purple lightsaber appears, and it is the lightsaber of Mace Windu, and he knows it, recognizes it once again, as he has not seen that lightsaber in many years. And he looks at that glowing purple lightsaber like, oh no. And she charges him with that purple lightsaber. He shoots an electric bolt. She blocks it. She jumps up in the air and tosses the lightsaber. Rey catches it in midair and comes down and slices the Emperor in half. And the Emperor body falls into two pieces, flat out on the floor. As Jenna is the granddaughter of Mace Windu. And the grandson of Mace Windu is Finn. And that's how the Star Wars saga ends, as Poe Dameron comes in late, all injured and head busted up, comes and checks on his baby 3-year-old daughter and Ray, his boo, and they go off and they make more kids, as she is not going to take the last name of Palpatine. She is going to be known as Ray Skywalker. Then she's gonna get married to Poe Dameron, and they're gonna have little bitty Ray Skywalker kids. And the galaxy goes on. And I'm out. Don't forget to hit the Cash App up. That's how my movie would go. It'll be pretty interesting though. Hope you were entertained. YouTube premiere. I don't go to YouTube, do too many YouTube premieres here. The photo you're looking at is a photo from me from the Comic Con, and that is actually Kristen Haydenson, and that is Ian McDermott, who plays Luke Skywalker. I mean, not Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker, aka slash Darth Vader, and Emperor Palpatine, and the Emperor. So that's it. I'm I'm out. uh, yeah, that's me as Kylo Ren, as I will be Kylo Ren for this new Star Wars movie. God willing, I'm alive and I make it there. I'm ready to roll. I'm out.